Hey there, friends. If you're watching this, you might be in your mid-70s or getting close to that golden milestone. I was chatting with a neighbor of mine the other day. She's 76, and she told me how she used to hike with her husband every weekend. Now she finds herself catching her breath more easily, and she's not sure how to get that spark back. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Today we're diving into something that touches every one of us as we age. The 5 main reasons behind most health struggles after 75, and more importantly, what we can do about them. Now, I know this might sound heavy, but stick with me, because here's the good news. Most of these risks aren't set in stone. In fact, studies show that a whopping 99% of deaths after 75 stem from just 5 causes. And guess what? Many of them are preventable, or at least manageable with small, everyday choices. Whether you want to keep up with your grandkids, take up painting again, or just feel more like you, this is your roadmap. Let's roll up our sleeves and start with the first one on the list. Picture this. Your heart is like your home's plumbing system. Over time, pipes can get clogged if you're not careful, right? Well, the same goes for your arteries. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death after 75. But here's the silver lining. It's often preventable. Let me share how. First, let's talk about what you put on your plate. Now, I'm not here to take away your Sunday pancakes or grandma's apple pie. Those are part of life's joy. But think of your diet like a garden. The more colorful and fresh it is, the better it grows. Swap out processed snacks for nuts or fresh fruit. Trade white bread for whole grains. And when you're cooking, reach for olive oil instead of butter. These tiny tweaks can slash bad cholesterol and keep your heart humming. Movement matters too, even if the word exercise makes you groan. I get it. Stiff knees or sore joints can make walking feel like a chore, but here's the secret. You don't need to run a marathon. Try parking farther away at the grocery store, gardening for 20 minutes, or even dancing to your favorite oldies. Any movement counts. Aim for 30 minutes most days, but even short bursts add up. My Uncle Joe, who's 80, swears by his daily stroll to the mailbox and back. Simple, right? Now let's talk about stress. I know, life doesn't stop throwing curveballs just because we get older. But chronic stress is like leaving your car engine running 24/7. It wears you down. So how do you hit pause? For some folks, it's sitting on the porch with a cup of chamomile tea and a book. Others love birdwatching or knitting. My sister-in-law joins a weekly card game, and it's her happy hour. Whatever floats your boat, make time for it. Your heart will thank you. And don't skip those checkups. Blood pressure and cholesterol screenings are like your car's dashboard lights. They let you know if something needs fixing. If your doctor mentions medication or lifestyle changes, listen up. Those recommendations are your toolkit for staying in the game. Okay, so we've tackled heart disease. Now, let's talk about the second biggie, cancer. I know it's a heavy topic, but here's the hope. Many cancers are preventable, and early detection saves lives. Screenings are your best friend here. Colonoscopies, mammograms, skin checks. They're not glamorous, but they're lifesavers. Take my friend Edna, for example. She almost skipped her mammogram last year because she felt too busy. Good thing she went. They caught something early, and now she's cancer-free. Stories like hers are why I always say, pencil these appointments in and treat them like dinner with family. They're non-negotiable. And if you've ever smoked, quitting, even now, can halve your risk of lung cancer over time. It's never too late. If you've never smoked, keep it that way and avoid secondhand smoke like the plague. Diet and exercise play a role here too. Keeping a healthy weight, cutting back on alcohol, and filling your plate with antioxidant-rich foods like blueberries, spinach, and broccoli can protect your cells. And hey, a daily cup of green tea isn't a bad idea either. As we talk about these first 2 causes, I hope you're starting to see a pattern here. Heart disease, cancer, both respond well to the same core habits: nourishing food, regular movement, stress relief, and staying on top of your health. And guess what? These habits are just as powerful for the next few risks we'll cover. So don't click away yet, because we're just scratching the surface. There's more to explore, and I'm here to walk you through it step by step. Together, we're building a plan that helps you thrive, not just survive. In the meantime, why not take a walk after this video? Grab a friend or just enjoy the quiet. In the next part, we'll dive into the third and fourth causes on this list, and trust me, you'll want to hear what science says about staying ahead of them. You've already taken the first step toward a healthier future by understanding how to protect your heart and reduce cancer risks. Now, let's keep that momentum going. We're diving into two more silent threats that often fly under the radar but impact millions after 75, chronic respiratory diseases and stroke. Don't worry, we'll break these down into simple, doable steps, just like we did before. Imagine trying to inflate a balloon with a tiny hole in it. That's what living with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or emphysema, feels like. These conditions, which include asthma and chronic bronchitis, make breathing harder over time. And while they're often linked to smoking, even lifelong non-smokers can develop them due to pollution, genetics, or frequent lung infections. The good news? You can protect your lungs, no matter your past. First, if you've ever smoked, quitting now is the single best gift you can give yourself. I know breaking a habit isn't easy, but here's the magic. Within just a few weeks of quitting, your lung function starts improving. Within a year, your risk of COPD drops dramatically. And if secondhand smoke is a problem, speak up. Ask loved ones to step outside if they smoke and avoid crowded, smoky areas. Now, let's talk about air quality. Did you know indoor pollutants like cleaning sprays, mold, and even pet dander can sneak up on you? Swap harsh chemicals for natural cleaners like vinegar and baking soda. Invest in an air purifier for your bedroom, especially if you live in a city. My friend Martha, who's 78, swears by hers. She says she sleeps like a baby since she got it. And here's another tip: stay active. It might sound counterintuitive if you're short of breath, but gentle movement strengthens your lungs. Try walking, tai chi, or even seated exercises. Breathing exercises like pursed lip breathing, where you inhale through your nose and exhale slowly through pursed lips, can also work wonders. Martha does this every morning while sipping her coffee. She says it helps her inflate that balloon a little more each day. All right, let's shift gears to our next big threat: stroke. Now, I'm sure you've heard this one before, but here's why it deserves your attention. Strokes happen when blood flow to the brain is cut off, often due to clots or weakened blood vessels. And guess what? Many of the habits we've already discussed, like eating well, staying active, and managing stress, also shield you from stroke. But there's more you can do. First, let's talk numbers. High blood pressure is the #1 risk factor for stroke, and it's often called the silent killer because it sneaks up on you. That's why checking your blood pressure regularly isn't just for doctors' offices. Keep a home monitor handy. Many are affordable and easy to use. If yours runs high, work with your doctor to adjust your medication or lifestyle. Diet plays a role here too. Cutting back on sodium is key. Swap salty snacks for potassium-rich foods like bananas, sweet potatoes, and leafy greens. They help balance fluids in your body and keep your blood pressure in check. And don't forget hydration. Drinking enough water thins your blood and keeps your vessels flexible. My Uncle George, who's 82, starts every day with a glass of lemon water. He jokes that it's his true fountain of youth. Now, let's not forget about movement. Swimming, walking, or even dancing to your favorite tunes can boost circulation and lower stroke risk. George joined a water aerobics class at his local gym, and he says it's the highlight of his week. The social interaction helps too. Loneliness and isolation are hidden risk factors for stroke. So grab a neighbor for a walk, call a friend, or volunteer at a community garden. Connection keeps your heart and mind healthy. And here's a pro tip. Know the warning signs. Sudden numbness in your face or limbs, trouble speaking, blurry vision. These are not just getting old. The faster you act, the better your chances. Remember the acronym FAST. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911. Sharing this knowledge with family could save a life someday. As we wrap up today's conversation, I hope you're feeling empowered. Chronic respiratory diseases and stroke might sound intimidating, but they're no match for your daily choices. Whether it's swapping a habit, adding a new routine, or simply staying curious about your health, building resilience. And guess what? The final piece of our puzzle is waiting for you in the next part. We'll tackle the last and perhaps most personal threat many of us face in later years. It's something that touches not just our bodies, but our minds and hearts. Ready to keep going? In the meantime, take a deep breath. Really feel the air fill your lungs. Isn't it amazing what your body can do when you give it the right tools? In the next part, we'll dive into the final reason behind most health struggles after 75, and I promise it's worth staying tuned for. If you've made it this far, give yourself a pat on the back. You're actively building a life where you not only age gracefully, but thrive. Today we're tackling the final and deeply personal threat on our list: Alzheimer's disease. Now I know this word can stir up worry, but hear me out. Just like the habits we've already covered, protecting your brain is about choices you can make every single day. And the best part, many of them feel good too. Think of your brain like a well-loved library. Over time, if books aren't used, dust settles, and access becomes harder. Alzheimer's isn't just about memory loss. It's about how well we maintain the wiring in our brains. The good news? Studies show that up to 40% of Alzheimer's cases could be delayed or prevented by lifestyle changes. Let's talk about how. First up, mental stimulation. No, I'm not asking you to solve calculus problems at 80. Simple challenges like crosswords, Sudoku, or even learning a new hobby keep your brain's pathways active. My neighbor Doris, who's 89, took up watercolor painting 2 years ago. She says it's like gym for her brain, and her vibrant paintings are proof. Even reading a novel or trying a new recipe counts. The key is to step slightly outside your routine. Next, let's talk connection. Loneliness isn't just a feeling, it's a health risk. Social isolation increases Alzheimer's risk by nearly 50%, according to research. Now, I know not everyone has a bustling social circle, and that's okay. Start small. Join a book club, volunteer at a pet shelter, or call a friend once a week. My cousin Henry started volunteering at his local library twice a month. He says the conversations with visitors keep his mind curious and his heart full. Even a smile at the grocery store cashier counts. Now, let's fuel that brain. You've heard me talk about food before, and here's where it pays off again. Omega-3 fats found in fatty fish like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds protect brain cells. Antioxidant-rich foods like blueberries, spinach, and dark chocolate fight inflammation. And don't forget hydration. Dehydration can mimic confusion, so sip water throughout the day. My friend Rita, 83, starts her mornings with a smoothie of berries, Greek yogurt, and chia seeds. She calls it her brain boost. And here's a familiar tip: movement. Physical activity isn't just for your heart or joints. It's a game changer for your brain. Exercise increases blood flow, encouraging new brain cell growth. Even a 15-minute walk can help. Take Bill, a 77-year-old retired teacher I met recently. He walks his dog daily and says it's his thinking time. He jokes that he's too busy admiring the trees to worry about forgetting things. Stress and sleep, two silent saboteurs of brain health. Chronic stress floods your body with hormones that shrink memory centers in the brain. Meditation, deep breathing, or even humming your favorite tune can calm things down. And sleep, it's when your brain cleans house, flushing out toxins linked to Alzheimer's. Aim for 7 to 8 hours. Try a warm bath before bed or a cup of chamomile tea. My sister-in-law swears by her lavender-scented pillow. Finally, manage chronic conditions. High blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol don't just harm your heart. They damage blood vessels in the brain, increasing dementia risk. Work with your doctor to keep these in check. Small victories matter. Swapping sugary snacks for fruit, walking after meals to control blood sugar, or taking meds as prescribed. Every step counts. So, friends, let's recap. We've covered 5 major threats after 75: heart disease, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases, stroke, and Alzheimer's. And what do they all have in common? The same habits make a difference. Nourishing food, regular movement, stress relief, connection, and staying proactive about your health. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Start with one thing: a walk, a call to a friend, a new recipe. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. I want to leave you with this. Aging isn't a race to outrun illness. It's about crafting days filled with joy, purpose, and connection. If today's tips inspired you, drop a comment below. Let's share stories and cheer each other on. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. Together, we're redefining what it means to live well at any age. Remember, your health is a journey, not a destination. Every choice you make, big or small, is a step towards thriving. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and above all, stay wonderfully you. Here's to living your best life.